list of you're gonna see it in a couple of seconds.
August 3rd and 4th. Yeah.
You should see it now. Refresh your page. I see.
I'm gonna tag them.
Yeah, tag them. Try not to take shots everywhere.
Yeah, no, but if you don't want to,
Del and I wanted to do it together, but apparently we can't have two monsters. Two monsters. Too good. We gotta separate. Yeah, I know we're attached to each other. Just for this event, we can come back together right now.
Well, we can't have Del commentating.
Oh my god, did I put that? Erase it.
I'm gonna put streaming scoring by Pascal.
No, I won't put that. Don't put that.
Why not? You gotta be in it too. You gotta be, you gotta get your credit.
People behind the scenes.
You're becoming famous with this. Alright, viewers are coming up. We're up. Hey, my mom's tuning in. Let me get in this.
Mother's tuning in.
My mom's. Hi, Mom. All the way back home in Alaska. I just say hi.
So I'm gonna share this on Facebook and then we'll start. Okay.
Okay.
So Facebook, Alaska. This is your stream.
Yeah. I tagged you for a commentary.
Okay. I'm gonna. Share it and then I'll be ready to go, guys. Just give me a minute. Did you try to add that to my timeline?
No. Sean tagged me.
Share it. Sorry, do I just put share here?
you guys ready to go?
Almost. How do I share this, Tony?
You're already tagged, so you are.
How do I share? Hit share?
It's probably already
Yeah, hit
there,
share,
Mike.
And then
And let us know if you want to write a post.
so only if I want to write a post, I write a post? And do you have a computer where we can see comments or no?
See the comments.
Yes, we can
no.
respond to comments.
Are you going to be too busy talking? Like, you want to do both?
I like to be able to see it if I can.
Okay. I can. I don't know. My phone is going to.
Sorry, your camera's going to stop me in just a second. Sorry.
So you're going to set up here?
Okay.
You want to see the screen?
Yeah, can we do it like turn this just a little bit?
Yeah.
So we can both put it on. Is this good? Yeah, one down. Yeah.
It's okay.
Stay started. Stop.
Maybe we move the thing.
But you cannot switch that thing.
That's it? Nah. It's actually easier if I just do it this way. Just for now, we'll take that off in a second. What I should do. This is supposed to go.
Not exactly in front because you hear like wind noise. If you
That good?
Yeah, that's good.
Guys, I think we're all set whenever you guys are. Is that true? Del, you, or Pascal, we're good to go?
Yes.
Look good.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, that should be a great match.
Comments anywhere on here?
I'm sorry?
Or comments anywhere on here?
You want?
Yeah, let's just see what the comments are. If you can just have it like in a small box. Guys, I think we're going to start here in just a couple seconds.
I'm gonna overrun the connection if I do that. It's gonna be like both
Yeah?
ways.
Okay, don't worry about it then. Can you see it on your phone?
I'm not connecting to the Wi-Fi.
Okay, no worries. All right, guys, we're about to start here. You got Tony Robles on the right, Del Sim on the left, the Highlander on the left, the Assassin on the right. Let's see how this match goes, guys. I'm very excited. I hope you guys are ready to be entertained. Del, what was your place in that last big straight pull tournament? Was it 4th or 6th? 5th? I was right in between. Del placed 5th, 6th recently. I guess it was last year in the World 14-1, maybe 2 years ago. Tony Robles took 2nd this last year in the World 14-1. Both these guys very capable of running 100 plus. Should be an exciting match. Got Pascal's software here doing the scoring. And looks like Tony lost the lag because he's doing the break. Obviously, he's going to try to get the 9 to hit the short rail and go back, and the 11 to hit the long rail and go back. Play a quality safety break. Probably put the cue ball by the chalk on the other side of the table. Okay, pretty successful with some leakage on the 13 ball. Right where the chalk, Tony put the cue ball pretty close to the rail. The Highlander uses a longer cue, so it might actually be a little more difficult than usual. If he pockets this 13, he'll probably have a shot in the 2 after. Looks like he's going to hit the 2. 2 should move down. Maybe the 10 or the 3 as well. But he's got to get a little lucky, but I don't see any dead ball unless the 12's dead. If he shoots the 1, it's a little more difficult. Looks like he's playing safe off the 9. Alright. Perfect speed by Dell. Chose not to play aggressive, wants to play Tony well and make good decisions. Solid play by Dell. I think he froze him on the 3. And Tony's just going to take an intentional foul and put the cue ball back where it was. Tony's in a lot of trouble here unless he finds a dead ball. He's really got to take an intentional foul. He's looking to see if there's anything dead in the side, like maybe the 5 ball, or in the corner, maybe the 8 ball, but I don't see anything good. He's got to play perfect speed here and get this right back where it was and not sell out the 9. Now, if Del can see the 9, he'll probably go for it. If he can't, he can play the 14, put him on the stack. He's just got to control the cue after it hits the 3 ball. It's a little dangerous, actually. Could also play a safe off the 11 if he didn't like the 14. And that's why I thought it was a little dangerous. He had to clip the 3 to push it into the stack if he was doing that. What he could have chose to do was possibly play safe off the 11-13, freeze him on the 12, and that may have been a little safer route. Slight misjudgment on Dell's second shot. He played a really good shot opening up, and then misshot the previous shot. Okay, so Tony has the 5 ball or the 1 ball or the 9 ball. I look for him to use the 5 first if he can, play position on the 13. If he doesn't have that, he can play the 9, play position on the 5 or the 13. Or the 1. Okay, looks like he's going on the 5. He's going to roll up with the 5. Probably play position on the 13 straight ahead or the 1. He's got multiple break shots here. You can play the 1, play position on the 14, use the 9 to open him up. Or you could use the 13 immediately and break him up. I like the 13 myself. I believe that's what Tony's addressing now. He scraped off the top. I believe he was playing position on the 1 ball. Cue ball went forward a little more than he'd like, but he's got the 6 ball or the 1 ball. Or the 10 ball, but I believe he's probably going to play the 6, play position on the 1 or the 10. Okay, he's got shape on the 9 if he wants to take it now, or the 10. Okay, if he's got the 12 now, I'll take that. He's got the 10 as insurance. You saw he developed the 2 ball as a possible break shot. Now, depending on where the 4 goes, he could play position for the 10 to the 1 to the 4, or play directly at the 4 now. It looks like he's playing position on the 9. It's a little different than what I would play, but he must have a different angle than what I see. He's trying to spin into the 14 at position on the 9. Good shot. That might afford him the 4 ball, which is his last problem ball. If he can address that, he should be sitting pretty well. So, assuming the 2 ball is not too low. If the 2 ball is low, the 8 to the 14 will be his last 2 balls. If the 2 ball isn't low, then he might go 14-8 for his last 2 instead of 8-14. Okay, if he got perfect on the 7, he could tickle the 4 out or the 15 out. And then it'll create a better break shot than the 2. I think that's what he's intending to do. Okay, he's either accepting the 14 or the 2 as his break shot. We'll know shortly if he knocks out the 2 and the 11. Okay, I believe the 2 is his break shot, and what he's going to do is 4, 14, 8, 2. So the 2 must be high enough on the stack that he can use it to hit the stack, so he's going 14, 8. He'll probably go 2 rails, short rail, long rail, towards the 2. Just a little bit of inside English. Make sure he gets off the rail here. Ideally, he'll hit between the 2nd and 3rd diamond on the long rail and go right in line towards a half ball hit on the 2 ball. Diamond, he went a little higher. Just gave him a little thicker angle. But he's an ideal positioner for a good break shot. And Tony cleared the rack, so it should be 14-0 in favor of Tony Robles. So this is a rack where I believe Tony likes to hit the rack twice. So he'll use top right English. He'll pocket the 2, hit the 12 ball on the side, and then come back and hit the center of the stack, either the 1 or the 5 on his second inning, or second break shot. 1. Okay, got the double kiss, but he ended up all right here. He's got a little pocket if he takes the 1 and goes in between the 5 and the 9 and 11. He could open up, or he could try to spin around and attack it a little later. Okay, he went in the pocket. As you see, that little glove there contained the cue ball and gave him the 3 balls insurance. So no risk shot, a lot of reward. Definitely the right play on Tony's part. The 4-9 is his only real difficulty at the moment. 15 ball blocks a little bit of the action there. I think he's deciding whether he goes into the 9 now or not. He can get rid of the 6 or the 14. One blocks the other if he wants. Or he can try to open up these balls by going 12-10 and going into the 13-9. Ideally, in this situation, you would shoot the 6 first, not the 14. Keep the 14 for the 8 or the 5 key ball position. So he would try to hold on to one of those two balls, but the 14 ball is a little better than the 6. He's probably playing for the 8 ball and using that to go into the 9 and get a little separation. The 4 should replace the 11, and then he can use the 5 ball as his break shot. I personally like the 8 ball a little more than the 5 ball break shot, but took a little risk there and hit the bottom side of the ball. He meant to hit a little lower on the cue ball, but I think because he was jacked up, he might have dipped his cue a little bit and hit a little higher than he intended because he was stretching. Now he's either got to dice the 15 in or play the 11-10 combination. He's opted for the 15. Now when he hits the 4, he's going to go up table, but I don't see him scratching on this shot unless he creates the angle to scratch. So he's pretty safe here. The 4 tangent doesn't lead to the scratch. So he's just got to pocket this ball and see what he has after. Quality shot. He's got to get a little roll, or else he's going to have another tough shot. Maybe the 11 in the side or the 10 in the corner. Not sure what he can see there. He did tie up that 6-14 a little bit. Good shot by Tony. He could play the 14-6 next. The 14 is going to drift down table. He's got the 7-4 as his key ball break shot situation. I would play the 14-6 and play position actually on the 14 or on the 13-9. I like playing position on the 14 and then attacking the 9-13 after I pocket the 14. Play the 14-6. 14 should go towards the corner pocket. I'll let the cue roll off the rail a little bit, back out, play the 14, then the 9 and 13. Okay, tied those balls up a little, so he's got to attack that as quickly as possible. I think he can go 2 rails off the 9 and go right into the 7 or the 14, preferably the 7. He could also try to draw off the 13 and go into it as well. I personally like to follow with a little bit of right on the 9, but depending on the angle he has on the 13, he might use a low right, go to the long rail and attack it that way. Okay, I think he's a little too much English, unless that ball's dead. If he plays a good shot in the 10, I'll have the right angle on the 13 to go into the 7, 14. He'll have 2 break shots. Okay, I think he set up the perfect angle to go 1 rail right into him. He really wants to hit the 7 and not the 14. Okay, perfectly executed. Ideally, we go 7-5, 14. I think that's what he lined up for. He's got to go pretty deep here, so he's got to hit this with a lot of draw. Or he can go 4, a stop shot, and play the 14 in the corner. Lets himself a little awkward here. I can't can't see what angle exactly he has on the 14, but he's going to have a thin angle on the 5 if he pockets the 14 in the corner. So he could try to cut in the side and go 2 rails towards the 5 with a lot of English, but he won't have as good an break angle. He could also play the 5 and play position on the 14 as a break shot, 2 rails underneath. But I believe he's going to choose the 14 ball, and 5 balls a break shot. So Tony's got a great break shot here. He'll use top top outside English or low outside English on the shot, depending on what he thinks is going to happen. Okay, he ended up really good there. He's got quite a few clusters to deal with here. He's got the 3-1-6 situation and the cluster by the triangle that he's got to contend with. I think he can go rail first and pocket the 3-1 and open that up. He'll want to do that with some sort of insurance. And I think his 11 ball is going to be the insurance, so he'll probably try not to take out the 11 and hold on to that position for a little while if he can, so that he can play the 3-1 combination, kick the 6 out a little bit, and have the 11 as insurance. Okay, now the good thing about taking this is I don't see any balls going towards that cluster, so he should be all right. Unless he hits it really hard, he shouldn't congest it more. It's a good shot there. Now, if for some reason he can't play the 3-1 combo, then he's got to use some ball to open it up. Right now he can play the 4 ball, the 8 and the 14, and come back up table to address that if he likes that, or he could play the 11 ball. Now, if this combo is not wired or on, as it looks from the screen, then he's got to attack it with the 15 ball or something. Now, right now, if it was tied up, he'd use the 7, go into them, and have the 13 as insurance, so they must not be tied up. I think he was thinking he could use the 13 as his break shot, and that's why he took the other ball out, hoping he'd have a different shot on the 6 or the 3. But by taking that out, he's sort of limited his break shot capabilities. He does still have the 4 ball, his possible break shot, and he could develop either the 7 or the 1 later on if he chooses. Let's see what he's planning. If he's planning to use the 4 ball as a break shot, I suspect he'll leave the 14 and 8. If he's not going to use the 4 ball as a break shot, then he's got to create something. It does look like the 1 ball may be out of the stack, and if that's the case, he could just use that as a break shot. He's got lots of key balls with the 4 ball or the 8 ball. Or he could try to develop the 10 with the 7 ball, or the 7 with the 1 ball. We'll know pretty soon how good the one ball break shot is if he holds that ball and doesn't try to move anything. He looks a little discouraged with his position, so he was trying to develop something there. Maybe he can push the 10 out in the better position, use the 4 as a stopper, and then use the 1 to the 4 as his key ball to key ball. The 1 ball being the key ball to the 4 ball with the 10 ball break shot. I'm not sure if he can develop the 10 or not. Again, the 1 still might be out of the rack, so he might be just accepting the 1 ball. Yeah, he's accepting the 1, so he's going to go 10-4-1. He's got a similar break shot to what he had the opening rack with the side ball. He'll be able to hit this pretty firm with a top outside English shot. He'll clip the corner ball and then go back into the stack. If he misses the double kiss, he'll hit the stack twice. But if he gets the double kiss, some little unfortunate things can happen sometimes. But let's see. Fortune's on his side, and he continues to run some balls here. You're listening to Michael Jednak here live at Amsterdam Billiards. Pascal Dufresne is the one who has the scoring for us, which you see on the board now. Pretty awesome system he's got. And Tony Robles at the table, the silent assassin against the Highlander, Del Sim, who's a spectator like us at the moment, looking for his opportunity to hit some balls. This will definitely be a top right English shot. He's going to clip the 5 and probably go back into the stack. He got that double kiss. And he needs good fortune. I think he's got the 5 in the side. Or the 8 in the corner. The 5's a good secondary break shot, so he'd like to hit the 8 and get position on the 5 and then open him up right after. He could also use the 15 if he makes the 8. Tony has to use a long bridge here because he's jacked up over a couple balls. This will be a very difficult shot and a high quality shot from Tony if he makes it. Put it down like it was a hanger. Good shot by Tony. Now the 13 may be dead off the 12. And if that's the case, he might just go ahead and play the 6-13 combination. Use the 6 ball, putting up the stack, or he'll play the 5 ball. I think Tony favors not using the dead ball in this situation, just going ahead and playing the 5. Sometimes dead balls you can miscalculate and die with them, so he's opting for the 5 ball. Should have good yield here. He just needs to get a shot. Looks like at the moment his best shot is either the 6 ball or the 11 ball on the side. 11 ball's his best break shot. 6 ball is very demanding. Could have got a little better roll after that break shot. There were some clusters, and when you hit the stack into clusters, a lot of times you congest balls up. But he took the risk and reward, and just wasn't rewarded with an easy shot. So he's probably going to play the 11 ball. For those of you straight pull fans, if you've had any chances to watch John Schmidt, he recently broke the 626 record, originally a 526 record by Willie Mosconi. An amazing feat that John was able to overcome, and we're all very proud of John in the straight pull world, and we're looking forward to seeing him in various areas. I'm hoping to have him in the New York area soon, maybe in the next few months. So Tony ended up running 45 balls, and that's the high run so far. Dell steps to the table with a pretty open table. A couple possible break shots, but I suspect he'll try to develop maybe the 7 ball or maybe one of these underneath the rack break shots. And he cheated the pocket intentionally to maintain position on the 4 ball. Play the 14-12 combination after the 4. He could have opted to tickle the 13 up into break position there with a 2-rail shot, but he's playing a little more conservative here. Make sure he runs some balls, gets comfortable with the table. Probably going to see an unconventional break shot here unless he uses the 13 ball side rail break shot, but let's see what he's got. So Dell misjudged the combination a little bit, and that's what sort of put him in this predicament of having to shoot these balls up table a little premature. He would have liked to have held some of those balls for potential break shots, but it looks like he's going to end up with the 11 or the 10 ball break shot. So he's going 13-6-10 or 6-10-13. So he's either going to use the 13 as a break shot or a 10 ball. He's opted for the 10 ball. So he wants to get straight or favoring the long rail after he pockets the 6 position, so he can get a little angle on this 10 ball to attack the stack. He was trying to force the cue ball up a little higher to get more angle on the 10, and unfortunately missed the 6 ball. So Tony steps at the table with an interesting situation here. No ideal break shot and no easy way to get position to it. He's going to try to maybe go 2 rails off the 10 ball or kill the 10, play position on the 6 ball on the opposite side. Okay, he's a little more straight in than I thought, so he was able to kill it. And, current score is 46 for Tony Robles, 10 for Dell Sim. Dell really need to connect on that last run. Do a quick shout out to the Napa League for Tony Robles, Predator. 2 main sponsors. Dell's sponsored by Obi. Both companies make very good equipment. He's going to hit this with a low outside. And you saw he caressed that ball, trying to just get a couple balls out for a possible break shot. And I think the 8 goes, and if so, probably play position on the 12-4 combination or the 9 ball. He has to avoid the scratch up table. Was able to hit the 11 thick, and I think that the dead ball is no longer dead, so he moved maybe the 5 ball in the way or the 10 ball in the way of that dead ball, so he's going to have to go underneath the stack to break him up. Alright, that was a good shot by Tony. He can hopefully play the 7 ball, go into the stack, use the 1 ball as insurance. If not, he'll play the 1, then the 7 without insurance, and he'll have to play position to go through the stack and get another shot off the 7. Okay, he's not trying to stay under the stack by what I just looked at, so... Okay, he did. So maintain position on the 1. This good shot selection by Tony. As long as he's not straight in the 1, he can get out of there. If he's straight on it, he might have to work a little more difficult situation. Maybe masse out with the top inside or something of that nature, but I think he's got some angle. He could also just accept position on the 15 ball. Yeah, that's what he chose to do. Okay, I'm a little surprised he's not taking the 15. He must assume that the 15-14 he'll attack the 15 later. He's going to use the 14 to open up the stack some more. I'm a little surprised they just didn't attack the 11 and then use the 2 ball to open him up, but he's got a plan here. And, ended up really well with the 2 balls of break shot. He can play the 5 ball, play position on the 3, and get the 3 and 11 and 4 out of the way as quickly as possible. You know what I might do here? I might play the 5, play position of the 10, 15, and then use the 4 ball to get on the 11. Now Tony chose a little bit different route. He's attacking it more immediate, and I think he's just accepting the 12 balls as break shot instead of the 2. He does need to shoot this. He could shoot the 2, then the 4, and then the 11 if it doesn't go. I think that's a little safer route, and I think Tony sees that too. Oh, he can reach it. Okay, maybe the 11 goes cleanly. But you guys see the 2's a very easy shot up table. You can play position on the 4, play the 11, then the 3, and then use the 10 to the 15. Use the 15 to get on the break shot. I don't like either of those 2 key balls for the 12, but that's what he's got. So this 11 ball must go a little easier than it looks like from my perspective. Okay, now the 10 ball is a much better key ball. Now the 10-15 is a much better key ball situation because he moved the 12 ball over. He's not going to have to move as far to get that position. So what he'd like to do is play the 3, the 2, the 10, the 15, and use the 15 as his key ball. So 3, 2, 10, 15 is going to be the pattern here. Unless he's awkward on the 3. Yeah, this is very natural. I'll be surprised if Tony doesn't shoot the 2, play position on the 15, just use the 10 as his key ball instead of the 15. Alright, he's double crossed me here a little bit. I'm a little surprised by that, but he feels he can get good position from the 15 to the 2 to the break ball to 12 ball. You see how nicely that 15 led to the 12. He had to pound that to get that over there. He would add more angle on the 12, so the 15 was a little more natural. He got a little out of line, so he had to use the 2 ball to get to the 12. And overshot the 2 a little bit. You can see how that 2 just wasn't the ideal key ball in that situation. He had to cross the line. So he had to play really good speed, and just got a little out of line. I think he got too thick on this 12 ball. Let's see if he can create anything. Currently, Tony's at 60 and Dell's at 10. This is a race to 150 in Amsterdam's Gold Division, Straight Pull League. And, I don't know if Tony can create angle on this 12 ball to go into the 8 ball, or to draw back into the 6-13. But it looks pretty thick to me. So what I think he's going to do is play safe off the 11 on the next shot. Yeah, he was looking to make sure he racked it tight so he could play a quality safe. Dell's anxious to get to the table. And you'll notice Tony favored the left side of the 11, knocking the 7 ball to the rail. And he's a little unfortunate that more balls didn't come out, because now Dell can leave him up table and not sell out. Unless the 215-8 is wired, which I don't think it is. The 5 precludes Tony from hitting an accurate hit on the 2 ball. I think Tony's going to have to play safety, probably off the 6 ball. Could also play off the 8, but I think he's going to use the 6. Okay, good shot from Tony. And I think Dell is probably going to scrape the 11. I think the 8 is a little bit more of a sellout or a scratch, but the 11, he can do the same thing back to Tony. Okay, Dell's trying it off the 8. It's a little more difficult. And I think he made a poor decision there. You want to play today? You want to play today? So the 11 ball, if he had used the 11 ball, the stack would have slowed down the balls because there's a lot of gaps, and he could have mishit it slightly and still got a good reward using the 11 ball. The 8 ball, if you hit it a little thick, you get leakage, which is what happened there. And still obviously very frustrated with that shot. That was a big shot. He needed to beat Tony to the safety battle if he was going to try to get back in this match. So far, Dale's made a couple critical safety errors, really. I played that safety earlier and left Tony the 1 ball or the 3 ball underneath the stack, and then mishit that 8 ball and left Tony the 8 ball. Now, I think Tony has the 9 ball. He can use the 7 ball as insurance, and he'll be back off to the races here. The 10 ball may be dead off the 1, and if that's the case, it's a situation where I might take that instead of the 9 ball, but I think Tony's attacking the 9. And once Tony pockets the 7, I believe the 1 will go, and possibly the 11, but one of those 2 balls are going to go. On the adjacent table, you see another friend of mine, Steve Lipsky, playing Greg Haas. Greg stepped up his game quite a bit in the last couple of seasons. It's good to see Greg shooting well. And Steve's always a house favorite here, along with Tony and Dell. A lot of big things happening in the straight pool world. Again, if you guys have any opportunities, you should check out John Schmidt's, I think it's Mr. 400 video on YouTube. He's got a channel. I think it's called Mr. 400 Billiards or something of that nature, but if you go to my Facebook page, you can find that. It's a lot of high runs by John Schmidt. 3 or 4 he's put up already. He's planning to put some more up. Of course, he just recently broke the world straight pull record, running 626 balls. Huge accomplishment in the straight pull world. A lot of excitement around that still going on. Back here, you're currently watching Tony Robles, the silent assassin, against Del Sim, the Highlander. although he didn't get the separation he wants, he's pretty fortunate. He was trying to hit the 1 with the 10 balls insurance, and he hit a little wide. Since he hit a little wide, he'll have to come with a shot here. He's either got to pocket the 11 or the 10 ball. The 10 ball is closer, so he's going to attack the 10. Probably play position on the... looks like the 13 ball next. He might hit a little softer and play position on the 11 or the 14, but I think he's going to come around table for the 13 in the opposite pocket that he's pocketing the 10. That a little softer than I anticipated. He got a little bit of a bad roll behind the 11. He may have to pocket the 11 now, or he'll have to take out his break ball to 14. I thought he was going to put a little bit of outside English on that shot, but he was stretching so much he probably didn't want to have to account for deflection and recalculate his aiming, and just tried to accept good shot, and he's got the 11 ball. He can pocket this. Okay, now since he was close to the ball, he's a little bit outside English, and the English deflected into the 11, made him hit it a little thick. That's a slight miscalculation on Tony's part because he was close to the ball. All of us worked very hard on that shot because it comes up a lot in straight pull, and you got to be able to calculate how that's going to deflect, and I think Tony misjudged that slightly. So, Dell, who's a fine player, is just not getting comfortable yet. He got out of line on the first shot, hit the 15 ball. Didn't end up with a good shot. I think his next inning he's got to take a little more time at the table and be a little more calculated instead of try to get comfortable right away. Just grind out some balls, play some easier positions so he can run out the rack a little easier. Tony's sort of having his way with him at the moment. He's got the 4 and he can tickle the 13 out a little bit, or he can just play position on the 13 and the 3 and the 1. He's probably going to go 14, 3, 1. Use the 1 as the key ball. And if he can get the cue ball sort of where it is now, it's a really good position for the 1 ball after he pockets the 3. He might have got the angle where he can go underneath it, which is also quality. He'll be able to stun straight up. Yeah, he got the nice stun angle. Now he doesn't have to go to a rail here. He can just stun it straight up for the parallel shot on the 13. He wants to get parallel to the rail in the 13 here if possible. A nice half ball hit. Okay, Tony hit that with really good speed. Those are a little harder to judge sometimes, but he's able to maintain his position at the table. Looks like the current score is 73 to 11. Tony Robles at the table, Silent Assassin. Again, Tony's sponsored by Predator, the Napa League and APL, and he also runs the Predator Tour in the tri-state area. And Del Sim, his opponent, the Highlander, is sponsored by OBQs. Also G2 Tips. great guys playing. So far, Tony's playing a pretty strong match here, and Dell's had a couple opportunities, but hasn't been able to connect yet. At this ball, I like to do a stun draw. Let's see if Tony power draws this or stun draws this. Okay, double crossed me a little, and he's following that shot. Usually when I'm past parallel, meaning when I have a thicker hit on the ball, I like to draw it. Tony must have seen that there wasn't a scratch, but we got pretty close. The 6 ball sort of prevented the scratch capability there, so end up with a good result. Can't argue with it too much. He's got a little situation with the 12-8, and he's got the 11 ball to open up the cluster with the 9 balls insurance if he can get on that side of the table. Okay, he's got the 2 balls as a break shot, and he's using that. I think he's got the 7 or the 1 ball. The 10-14 didn't quite separate enough for them to have pockets yet. At least as it looks now, it's a little congested. Tony looks as if he's trying to attack the 8-12 here. Okay, he got really good on this ball. He separated the 10-14. I'm not sure whether it was intentional or not. It looked like he was looking at the 12-8, but he must have been planning what he hit. He was able to create a break shot there. If he can get the proper angle on the 9, he can go into the 8 and have the 4 as insurance or the 10 as insurance. And I really suspect he's going to try to get a good angle on this 9 ball off the 11, so they can either spin with inside English to attack the 8-12 or a straight follow shot. He must not have the right angle on the 11 to maintain position on the 9. The 3 ball is also a problem here. It's a pretty useless ball, so he could attack that soon as well. That was a great shot by Tony. He solved his problem. He's got the 12 ball. With the stop shot, position on the 4 ball. And they don't want to get rid of the 8 and 10 as quickly as possible. Okay, I had a little more angle than I thought. I kind of like the 14 ball as my key ball, but I think he's forced to shoot. Either the 8 or 15 here. I don't think the 14 goes. Maybe it does. I think Tony had to avoid the point on that last shot, and that's why he got out of line. I think he might have had to spin the ball in, so he might have had to massay the last ball in, and that might have cost him the speed control that he was looking for. So he's got to play the 15. He's probably going to hit the 3, which is good to get rid of that ball anyway. The good thing about that is he still has the 5 and the 14 as possible break shots, so whichever ball he has to get rid of, he still has another quality break shot. He could also use the four balls a break shot if all else fails. I personally like the 5 as my break shot if I have a choice. I'm not sure if Tony does. He could potentially push over the 14. He could try to hit the 4, knock the 4 into the 10. Okay. What Tony can do here is play the 10 ball, push the 14 up. He's got the 4 and the 8 as insurance, and create a really good break shot. Let's see if he does that. That's top with a sliver of outside English. And that might have been good enough to nudge it just in a position. I think he's all right, and if he's not, he still has the 3 to the 8 to the 14 to the 4. But I think he made the 14 good. It's a nice kill shot by Tony. And if the 14's good, he'll play a stop shot, maybe roll forward a hair, and then use the 4 as his cue ball. Roll forward a hair. Now he's got a natural 2-railer towards the left side of the table, slightly favoring the middle. Or the 1-rail shot. He chose the 1-rail shot and landed perfect, so the 1-rail is probably a better option. The current score is 87 to 11 in favor of Tony Robles. I think Tony opened up with a 45 ball run. Unless I'm mistaken, that's the high run of the match. Let me see if my stats guy can help me out there. Pascal, what's the high run? 45?
Tony has a 45, a 20, and a 16.
All right, so Tony's high run right now is 45. I believe he's on 20 right now. He's in a great position to continue this run. He seems to be favoring that lower break ball. I'm not sure if that's by coincidence or if that's by choice. I usually like a higher break shot myself and a little further from the stack. But he's landed with this a few times, and he's getting good results. Okay, that time he used draw, and every other time he used follow. And the first time he used draw, he almost scratched. So I thought follow was working well with outside, so I'm a little surprised he didn't use that. He must have saw something different than what we had up here. Now, obviously, if he had reached in the pocket and touched the cue ball, that would be minus 14. Dell and Tony are friends. I'm not sure if they would take that. They'd be well within his right to do so. You don't want to make the Highlander mad, though. He might run 100 now. So Tony's got no real choice. He's got to shoot at this 2-ball. He's gonna hit this pocket speed. He's not gonna slam this ball. Center of the pocket, good shot by Tony, and he's got good position at 13, and he may be able to play position for the 8. Maybe off the 5 or the 3 off the 13. I'm not sure. I mean, he's got a bunch of options at the moment. He could play position on the 8 now. He's probably going to play the 15 first. Maybe use the 4 to open it up. Maintain the 6 ball as his next break shot. You know what I like? I just saw this, but I liked using the 5. Playing position to get on the 5 to open the stack up. That way he could have maintained the 6 balls as break shot for the next inning. He's going to use the 8 instead and open them up. They're all going to push over. He'll probably have a shot. Probably have a shot in the 11 or the 7. Looks like he's getting the 7 out. Insurance with the 5 and the 3. He could still use the 5 and 3 as the key ball break shot. 3 ball being the key ball, 5 ball being the break shot. He would like to have a little easier pattern out from here. I might use the 3, try to get a thicker angle on the 7, and play position for the 10. Play the 1-11 combination, developing the 1 as a break shot, and then attacking the 9 and 12, which both go in that same pocket. If he could kill the 7 now, I would do that, but I don't think he has that angle. Now he could play position on the 10 straight away from the 3. And I think that might be the play. Just come straight across table. go after the 10 now. He'll either have the 10 or the 1, preferably the 10. He can play the 1-11 combination, looks pretty wired. Then attack those other 2 balls. He wants to stay underneath the 10. Okay, this is his last chance, or he can use the 10 and go into him. He really wants to do surgery, not bump the balls. But with the situation he's in right now, he might be advisable to go ahead and play the 10. That'll separate everything up and then run the rack. I think he can play position on the 10, and so does he. So he's going to come back across. I believe the 10 to 1 goes, and that's why he's really afforded this extra opportunity. Okay, I'd like it to hold up and be on the underside of the 10. Now, if he got underneath the 10, he can play the 1-11 combination. And when he played the 1-11, the 1 would develop into his break shot. But if he's above the 10, then he's going to have to negotiate something else. Probably play the 1-11 combination still, but maybe play an underneath the stack break shot. That last ball skid, so Tony just cleaned it. He might be able to play the 12 ball, develop the 11. And the 1. Here's a nice little pattern. 9-11, 1 in the side break shot. Let's see if he does that. That'd be a little unique, and I kind of like that in this situation. I think 9-11, 1 is the pattern he's got. Tony chose to play the 1 ball above the stack. I kind of like the 1 on the side, but that's a personal preference, I think, and depending on the angle he had. He may not have had that choice. He would have had to use a lot of inside English. He did get a little skid on that last ball, the 10 ball in the corner. But was able to get pretty solid on this 1 ball. I think he's got the ideal angle to hit the top ball. This actually, I think, is one of Steve Lipsky's favorite break shots. Because if you hit the 10 square, you get a really good result. And if he's clipping the 10, he can still stay in the middle of the table pretty easily. Highlander's exercising a little bit, standing up and getting some blood flow. Waiting for an opportunity from the silent assassin, Tony Robles. Tony, to be honest, putting on a little clinic here. He's opened up with a good run. He's on another 34-ball run at the moment. If he can maintain control of the table, he should have this locked. And I think he got a little bit of a bad roll there. He might be forced to play the 12-14 unless he's got the 15 ball. I personally like the 12-14 more than the 15 if the 9's eclipsing part of the pocket. But he must have a full pocket. I could develop the 12 here. And he tried to do that. That was a really good shot by Tony. He clipped the 14, but I think he was just trying to develop the 12 in the break shot. And that's sort of a critical break shot pattern there. So if you guys could sort of remember that shot that he just played, it's a really powerful shot and will get you out of a lot of racks that you sort of would seem dead to other players. But when you can create that sort of situation, that'll get you out of a lot of trouble. Tony just played an incredible pound shot, was able to get the ball up high enough to get on this 13 ball. A little risky to go into the stack here. He might not have a choice. He could try to clip the 3 and have position on the 12 or the 14, which is what he did. And a nice control there by Tony. Hit the exact part in the stack he needed to control the cue ball. He's got the 10 ball now. The 2-8-7-3 all go up table in the corners. If he can get underneath to the 6 ball, he can do a lot of damage in that congested area.
With your foot. With your
Uncharacteristic miss by Tony. Dell's got to put a number down here and control the table. Tony's playing for 45. Dell's playing for 139. Go into the 8-7 here, and I'll have the 4 after. Okay. 14 ball's his ideal break shot, but he's got to play the 14-6 now. He's going to go into the 8 here and open that up a little bit. He hit it a little too hard, so he didn't quite get enough draw to go into the 8. So he still has that problem, and he actually took out his last break ball, which was the 5 ball. Does a very fast player. If he starts to get in stroke, we'll see a really good match here. But if he can't get in stroke, it's going to be a little torturous because Tony doesn't forgive his opponent. I feel a little bad for Dell because I know what he's capable of, and this is not his best performance. He's a very strong player, and as you guys all know, we can't all play our best game every time, and I think he's just been in the chair a little too much today and hasn't been able to warm up. And Tony's just been sort of dominating the show here. The current score is 105-16 in favor of Mr. Robles. I'm not sure if he got back enough to get on this 5 ball. Maybe the 3 goes. Zion Zvi walking in the background. Okay, so Tony's playing the 4 ball and going 4 rails back towards the chalk. And, just called a safe. He actually went to the other side of the table, which was just as good. And with that, he was able to avoid the bottom ball, 5 ball. And Dell just went to the, took a break, and he's going to go talk to himself in the mirror, tell him who he is, and come back and play some good pool, because that's what Dell does. Tony Robles is bribing the commentators.
Thank you. See, I told him well. I give him the thing. He takes a couple, gives it to me, and then says thank you. He keeps the rest.
Thank you, Tony.
I go shooting, huh?
Yeah, Tony's playing very strong right now.
45-38.
What was that?
The runs 45-38.
I'll take it when
Tony's
when I can get him.
Tony's a perfectionist. He wants to see 150 now every time. But he's playing very strong right now. He's got Dell sort of locked up in the corner. Dell just, like I said, probably just went to the mirror, go talk to himself, get himself back in this match. Very capable player. Tony was able to freeze the cue ball against the rail, so Dell's going to have to play good safety.
I actually need to work on my speed. Cue ball isn't exactly frozen to the rail.
It's not frozen, so Tony's got to work on his speed. Guys, we should resume here in about 2 or 3 minutes. Don't leave us. And the Highlander has returned. And I believe he can hit the 5 ball with the half ball hit. Play safety. He's looking to see if the 7-6 is lined up. It is not, I don't believe. But he's got a good stack of balls to hide the 5 behind. So if he hits this with a half ball hit, he'll leave the 2 balls split up pretty evenly. And Tony shouldn't have a good shot. Now, even if Tony can make this ball, there's no real reward. So I don't see him going for it, to be honest. Unless he calls another safe. Maybe he's going for the corner and attacking the stack. Oh, he called a safety. That was a smart play by Tony. He was able to get the cue up there. He played to overcut it just in case he missed, knowing that he wouldn't sell out. Dell's got a 2-rail bank to put the 5 behind the stack, or 1-rail bank to put the 5 behind the stack, but he wants to leave the cue ball in the same general area it's in now. Now that was a good shot. I think the Highlander can pocket this call safe and leave the 5 back in the stack, put the cue ball in the middle. As long as he leaves the cue ball off straight on, Tony can't just play the 3 ball square, leave him safe. So he's got to play good safety here. Actually think I'm going to learn something here, but I think Tony's going to try to thin the 13 and leave the cue ball by the side pocket. Oh, he was able to hit the 3 ball, go back up table. Dell can pocket this and possibly go 4 rails and attack the stack. This is an inside English shot, and he could end up with a good result here. Right. Oddly, that is actually favorable for Dell. Now, Dell's on the first scratch, so he can take an intentional. He could also play the 8-6-13 straight ahead. Make it a little more difficult for Dell to play a safety, but that's a little risky. I suspect Tony's just going to take an intentional foul. He's just going to put the cue ball back by his hand, I think. He doesn't want to leave Dell the 3. If Dell can clip the 3s, he's in a good position. I would actually kick at the 3 here and try to bank the 3 past the side, unless I could see the edge. If he can see the edge, he's good. You know, even if Tony puts him in the same spot, Dell can kick at the 3, and he doesn't have to sell out if he hits the 3 pretty square. I believe that's going to be Dell's play. Tony's going to put him back, preferably by the chalk. He's going to take a little spin off, I think. He's hitting a little hard. He's leaving Dell that edge. I think Dell's just supposed to bank this out of there. Dell's struggling a little with the execution here. Ended up giving Tony a good shot to potentially hit the 13 ball. I'm not sure if he can see it. But if he can't, he can play the 3, come 2 rails up for the 7, then use the 7 to open him up. Okay, ended up with a really good result. There, got a little fortunate. Created a nice break ball with the 8 ball. He'll go 6, 7, 8. And if the 7 goes by the 6, he'll play the 6 and the 7 in the same pocket. Or if the 7 goes by the 8, he'll play the 6 and the 7 in the same pocket. Tony just destroyed his break shot, unintentionally, obviously. So probably play the side pocket break shot here. Roll the cue ball forward a little bit and to the left. He's got a choice. He'll use the 8 ball in the side pocket break shot. That's ideal break shot position for the side pocket. So despite the fact that he bumped the 7 in bad position, he ended up with a great break shot. And that's the creativity you need to continue runs in straight pull. It's easy to run high runs when you're playing well, but you also have to get a little creative too. While they're racking, I'll do a quick thank you to Jacoby Custom Cues, thebilliardist.com. Please check out my friend's YouTube channel, John Schmidt. I'll look it up. I think it's Mr. 400 Billiards or something of that nature, but it's got some high runs on there you guys should check out. You're watching Tony Robles, who's sponsored by the Napa League, Predator, and the Predator Tour as well. A Highlander is his opponent, Del Sim. OBQs, G2 tips. And Tony's looking great here. He needs, looks like 40 more balls, a little under 3 racks. He's got a really good spread here. If he can play the 11 and get rid of the 13, he'll have the 10 balls as break shot. You could also get rid of this 5 and 9, but I kind of like playing the 11 first. Looks like Tony's going to get rid of the 5, 9 first. The 11 does lead nicely to the 2 ball, so he might at some point go 11 in the same corner as the 9, play position on the 2. Use as sort of as a triangle to get on that 2 ball because the 2-4 is still tied up. Guys, you're listening to Michael Yanek with commentary. We're watching this stream provided by the Billiardist and Pascal Dufresne. He's the one doing the scoring for you, so you're getting a live feed on the score. If anyone's interested in this program, please look him up on Facebook. You can reach out to me or Sean Morgan. So I think he ran the cue ball a little far there. He wanted to get rid of the 11 and then attack the 2 and the 13, but instead he's going to have to wait a moment on that. He's decided to go ahead and shoot the 11. Came up a bit short there. He was playing position on the 2 or the 4. He's going to have to go up table now. since he's up there, he's going to get rid of the 1. Probably the 5 as well. Or the 1 and the 7, I mean. Now the 3 leads to the 4 and the 2. He could use those as key balls for the 10 ball or the 13 ball. He wants to get rid of that. I really think he wants to get rid of the 13 after he gets rid of the top balls. So he'll get rid of the 1-7, try to get rid of the 13. The 3 ball leads nicely to the 14 as a key ball, but I think the 3 ball is actually a better key ball than the 14. So I think he wanted to wait to go up table till the end, because as you can see, if he could have gone 3-7, or sorry, the last ball 7-3, you'll see he would have been perfect on the 10. Since he had to revamp his pattern, he's going to have to do something else, and he's opted to go ahead and save the 7 ball for his key ball. So it looks like 4-13, 2-14-7. Play a 13 ball, then the 2. And then the 14 and the 7. If he gets funny on the 14, he can play the 7 to the 14. So play position on the 2, tried to hold the cue a little bit, hit a little thicker to hold the cue for position on the 14. Hit the point. Dell comes to the table. The very simple out, and he needs to execute at this point. I once had Dell around 138 or something to very bad score, 138 to maybe 30 or something like that. And Dell put his first 100 on me here in the league and ended up winning 150 to like 138. A nice run by Dell. So he's very capable of coming back when he needs to. So let's see if he can't run some balls here and make this a closer, more interesting match. Do a little shout out to Danny Brody. Also Jose Garcia. Haven't seen him in a while, but amazing straight ball player. Good mentor, good friend. We do have Alex Pagulayan coming in town this next week, 3rd through the 7th for lessons. If anyone's interested, please reach out to me on Facebook. And, we have the Hitman, who's at a little appearance here at Amsterdam. He's been in the area for last week, I think. Hopefully he sticks around for a while. It's always good to have him right here. And Dell played a good safety there. Played a little aggressive with the safety. I like to just take an intentional foul, but played a good safety. He's got an opportunity here if he can put down the 3 or the 14, stay in this match. He needs to get something aggressive happening right now. He needs to put down some numbers, or Tony's just going to walk away with this match. Yes. Merge it to the ball unless it's the cue ball. It's the cue ball, you put it as close as you can without touching it.
Why without touching any other balls?
The cue ball, you're not allowed to touch the object ball. But the other ball, you can freeze it right on. You're not supposed to freeze it.
I always learn something.
All right, guys. So, sorry about that. We had someone asking about a rules question. I used to run a league here, so people still ask me all day. It's good. It's nice. But looks like Dell has the 5 ball. Maybe he can swing up and get rid of that 2 ball. That's going to be a problem later if he doesn't take care of it as soon as possible. Might have to play the 13 here. It's a little higher percentage with the 12. I'd really like to see Dell get into this match and run some balls and keep Tony in the chair a little bit and make this make a good comeback. Looks like he's on the 9. The 9 might be his best break ball though, so I might play the 11 up table. He does have the 6 ball as well. He's opting to take away the 9, so that means he's probably going to be forced to use the 6, which is a good break ball. Okay, looks like he got good on the 12, and he should have the 1 next. I think he was trying to hit the 2 ball up table, so he had a little better shot in the 2. But as you guys can see, sometimes the table just knows who's winning and who's not, making Dell work really hard for these balls. He doesn't want to be straight. He wants angle so he can get off the rail for the 11. Okay, good shot by Dell. Hopefully he's got some angle on the 11 so he can get out of there for the 6 ball. If not, he can stick it in the stack and accept ball in hand behind the head screen. All right, that might be the best shot of the match, really. Quality position play to get back in line there. He got a little out line, played a great stroke, got perfect on the ball. That's the Dell we're used to seeing. Let's see if he can maintain and get some numbers down here. Current score, guys, looks like it's 119 to 31 in favor of Tony Robles against Dell Sim, the Highlander. Guys, you're listening to Michael Yudnak give commentary. Here with Pascal, who has the scoring program here for you guys with all the stats. It's pretty awesome to see this stuff live. If anyone's interested in the scoring, please contact Pascal. I will also have Alex Pagulayan in the neighborhood for the next week. If anyone's interested in lessons, if you're not going out for the 4th of July weekend, or if you're coming into New York City for the 4th of July weekend, feel free to contact me. There are still some open slots for him. He's an amazing teacher, amazing guy. Feel free to contact me, guys. Okay, that ball didn't roll off. Looks like he's got a shot in the 8 ball or possibly the 4. Might have the 5 in the side as well. I think the 8 ball might be his highest percentage unless he can see the 4. If he can see the 4, I'll take the 4 out. What he could do is develop the 3 here if the 3's not in ideal position. Develop the 7 just as well. Might have hit it a little too firm. Might have landed a hair awkward, honestly. If he doesn't have the 3 or the 10, he could be in a little trouble here. I think he's got one of the 2. Okay. Good. He's got the 10 ball. He can play the 8 ball next. And I think the 5 ball's out of the stack. If not, he's got plenty of time to create another break shot. I might swing underneath and go into the 15 here. That way I have shots on the 10 or 14. You play the 9 ball. If you were to get underneath and go into the 15, you're short a shot and you open up that lane for the 10 and the 14 here. Assuming he has a right angle, but he may not. He's using the 5 to drop down in there instead. Now you can play the 14, tickle the 11 up a little, the 10, the 15, or the 13. Okay, that's straight pull, guys. Just created a perfect break ball. It'd be nice if he had a better key ball on that side, but he's got options. I personally like getting rid of the 9, the 2 as quickly as possible. And you could play the 2 and actually tickle the 11, have shape on the 9. It's not necessarily a bad shot, but you have to hit the speed just right. Make sure you don't get in trouble, you know, causing a bad break ball. But he's going to take the 9, play position for the 2. And if he tickles this, that's not bad. The 7 ball and the 12 ball aren't really good key balls for what he's got. The 7 ball is not a horrible break shot, and he's got to see if he wants to use that instead of the 11 ball. He's able to hit a really good shot and get straight on the 7, so where he can play a stop shot. He'll have a nice angle to go to the rail and back out for the 11 ball. And, sometimes I like to actually go forward a little and play 2 rail position towards the 11, but I think he got good here. Yeah, he landed perfectly, and another good break shot here. So a little unconventional key balls, but he's coming with the shot to get back in line here on the break shots. So.
1 of 2 and 7. Yeah, 1 of 2 and 7. Ongoing.
Okay, so Dell's currently on a 27 ball run. Score is 45 for Dell, 119 for Tony Robles. And Highlander's coming back. If he's at the table, he's a threat. This is a top outside English shot, so top left in Dell's case. Okay, he used draw, which also worked out well. So he used low left. And he's got the 5 ball on the side of the 6 ball. He's chosen the 6 ball. Okay, got a little funny, but ended up straight on the 7, so he's okay here. He's just got to bear down and pocket this ball and play position on maybe the 2 ball or the 1 next. Okay, he played for both balls, got on both balls. He has options here. I wouldn't actually go into the stack here. He could play the 1 and go into the 9, but that's risky. I like playing the 2 and playing position on the 5 and the 3. Preferably using the 5, so I maintain the break shot. I would bow out here and play the 1 instead of the 3. I like maintaining the 3 and the 5 as break shots. I play the 1 on the side and try to get on the 5 ball. He's going to go ahead and remove that ball. He'll probably create the 10 ball as a break shot here if he's got angle. And doesn't hit it too hard. Okay, so it's a little squirrely, but he still has action here. At this point, I think he wants to maintain the 1 ball as a potential break shot and the 12 ball as a key ball. So I look for him to try to get rid of these balls, this half the table, and then attack the stack, or attack the upper balls. Since he created a break ball, I think he's going to maintain the 10 balls as break shot now. Play position on the 15, the 9. Use the 1, the 12 to get back on the 10. So 5, 15, 9, or 9, 15. Looks like 15, 9, 1, 12. Okay, 9, 15, 1, 12. Looks like he should probably play the 12 first and try to get straight on the 1. And use the 1 as his key ball instead. And I think he can favor the center of the table for this shot since the ball is so close to the rack. Looks like he got pretty good on the shot. A little thick, but should be able to create enough energy to open it up. Currently we're at 59 to 119 in favor of Mr. Robles. And you're watching the Highlander come back on us here. He's currently on a run of 41 balls. Tony's high run was 45 for the set. He started that to give himself the highest percentage of having some balls come out for relief. With that, he's got to come with a tough shot on the 14, I believe. Watch and see if he stays down nice and straight. Okay, great stroke by Dell. He's on the 11 ball. He can play position for the 7. He's got to watch. He's got to watch the scratches here, but if he plays for the 7. This should bode pretty well. The 8 will actually stop most of the progress of the cue if it goes the direction I think it's going. Yeah, the 8 did stop most of the progress, but he was unable to pocket the 7. He actually one-stroked that ball. I think he needed to take a little extra time on that. Looks like he ended up running 44 balls that inning. And so right now the Highlanders' high run was 44. Tony Robles' high run was 45. Tony's made a couple uncharacteristic misses, but Dell didn't punish him until now. So Tony's got a pretty strong lead over Dell still by almost twice as much. The reason why I say Dell's misses were a little worse is because he was in better position and sort of left himself offline and had to come with shots. And Tony didn't miss many easy shots until the last few innings. I think Tony's forced to play the 7. The problem is it's going towards the 4 in that long round. There's no real shots over there, so he's got to manipulate the cue ball a little bit to maintain position and continue his inning at the table. So he might actually have to hit this with outside English instead of inside, which is a little more natural. If it's off the rail, he's got choices. Yeah, he had to use inside, so he played position for the 13. You see how far away he is sort of from all the rest of the balls. He's going to have to use the 4 ball to get closer to the soldiers here. He can play position on the 12 ball next. Probably roll up for the 13 after. So 4, 12, 13. I like getting rid of that 13 as quickly as possible. And from the 13, he might be able to get position on the 5, the 6, or the 1. I actually like playing the 12 here and going towards the short rail back up to the 13. And doing what I said. Let's see if Tony does that or not. It's pretty natural. He's just going to go one rail towards the 13. Now, if he can get on the 5, then the 6 and the 1 will no longer be congested, and he should be able to run out the rack pretty easily. He's able to get on the 5. And he might even be able to push the 11 out for a secondary break shot, if he chooses for another break shot. And, he was able to do so, which is actually better than the 3 ball. So he could opt to go ahead and play the 3, 9 at the moment, or he could shoot the 9 first. He's got options here. I do like the 8-1 as my last 2 balls in this particular situation. And what he could do here is play the 3, then the 2. Nine, 11, 6, 8, 1. Or if the 11 goes by the 1, I'll play for the 11 now. Alright, he just made the 9, or the 1 even better. So it looks like 6, 9, 1, 9, 8, sorry, 6, 9, 8, and then 1 is break shot. That was a nice little development Tony did there with the 1 ball, made it a little better break shot. Most of us like to have the break shot a little further from the stack, so you can just use high ball and you don't have to worry about which side of the ball you're hitting. The current score, guys, is 130 to 62 in favor of Tony Robles, the silent assassin. And the Highlander did have a good comeback here. If he gets another inning, could be anyone's game, but at the moment, Tony's at the table, so he's definitely favored to win. We're here at Amsterdam Billiards in New York City, straight pull capital of the world. At least we like to think so. You're watching Tony Robles versus Del Sim. My name is Michael Yednak. I'm here with Pascal Dufray. He's a computer programmer, I guess, and did the scoring for us here. And if you guys are at all interested, please contact him on Facebook or reach out to Sean Morgan or myself, which is contact info, and you guys can have this in your room if you like what he's doing. This is a top left English from Tony's perspective. You saw the left English catch nicely there and bring it back to the middle. He's got lots of options here. If he can get rid of that 13 or the 9, he'd like to do so as quickly as possible. In an ideal world, we'd maintain the 15 for the key ball and the 12 ball for the break shot. But let's see if Tony tries to preserve that or if he uses that to get rid of the 9 or the 13. He also has the 8-6 as key ball break shot. 6 ball being the key ball, 8 ball being the break shot. And he also has the 10 ball underneath the stack as potential break shot. So he doesn't have to preserve the 12-15, the perfect break shot key ball relationship. He's playing for 19 balls, so he's got to get through this rack and the next rack to continue his to win the match, I should say. He got a little straight on the 6, so he might opt to play the 8 ball, get down for the 4, the 10, and get over on the left side of the table to get rid of some of those balls. He would like to get rid of the 10 first, because then both the 14 and the 9 can go in the pocket. Now he'll come up and he'll try to not disturb the 12 ball if possible. And his position on the 9, the 14, or even the 13 here. I suspect he'll try to take the internal balls out first, so if he has a choice, he'll play the 9 into the 13. Got a little bit of a bad roll there and got pretty straight on the 14. He could stop it, play position on the 7, maybe follow forward a little bit and play position on the 6. He's got options. He's not in trouble. If the 13 goes, he'll play position for the 13. If not, he'll use the 7 to open him up and out the 6 as insurance. Now he doesn't have to move these balls, to be honest. He could just take the 7 out, play position on the 6 to get back to the other side of the table, then all those balls go. And knowing Tony and sort of how we like to play, he might try not to disturb these balls, but let's see what he's got. Okay, looks like the 11-13's wired. Makes his decision a little easier. Now if the 3 ball weren't there, he would go 6, 11, 15. But since he's got the 3 ball, he's got to get rid of that. So he'll probably go 6, 3, 11, 15. He got a little out of line there. The 3 ball went, but he hit it a little too hard and got a little out of line. So I don't know if he can play the 15 ball or the 11 ball, but if he can, he's going to play 15, 11, and then use the 3 as his key ball now. He's got to play a little more precise. Yeah, the 3 ball is the key ball, but I think he got perfect on the 11. And he'll use the rail to help him with the speed, so he'll go to the rail and back out. And landed with looks like a half ball hit, which is ideal. Very easy to see the aim point and high pocketing probability. Currently the score is 144 to 62. Tony Robles playing for 6 balls. A fine match by Tony. Dell, we'll have to look forward to his next match to see him play great unless Tony makes an error. But Dell at least played well at the end, and always exciting to see both players play their game. Again, Dell is sponsored by OBQs and plays with G2 Tips, Tony Robles, Predator Equipment, Predator Tour, Napa League, and APL. And I'll do a quick thanks to Jacoby, Custom Cues, Kamui Products, and Predator myself. We're here live at Amsterdam watching Tony Robles. He needs 5 more balls, and he might have some work ahead of him. Looks like he's got to play the 2 ball. Unless I see something off here, he's got to shoot it at the 2. Probably play position on the 7. 2 rails towards the 7. You see the 7? So a Highlander. This is his time. This is his time to reign. So see if he can get loose here and control the table. Psych. He's going to play the 9, play position on the 4, use the 4 to open up the rest of the balls. Or he's going to get rid of all those balls down table first, then come back up and do that. Oddly, these balls are still pretty congested, but I think after he hits the 4, gets the 10 ball some movement into this stack, he should be a little better off. The 10 ball created a break ball with the 5 ball and opened up nicely for Dell to run some balls here. He's got the 10 ball now, possibly the 14. He'll play the 1 ball or the 8 next. Maybe get rid of both those balls if he's got a choice. If Dell starts playing some patterns here, could see him run out here. Now, if he can go into this 3-15, well, the 11 is insurance, and I think he's got to do that. Separate these 2 balls lightly, not too hard. And, that was perfectly played. Now, as I see it, I like the 7 to the 2 as my last 2 balls. But the 14 is actually a better key ball, so I might go 3, 11, 6, 7, 2, 15, 14. I like that pattern better. I like the 15 to the 14 as my last two balls. He's got to get rid of this 6, or maybe keep the 5 balls a break shot and use the 2 balls as key ball. That's just as good. You know, I like that more. Do the previous pattern I said and use the 6 balls a break shot instead. He's mixing me up a little bit here. The 2 ball led nicely to the 6 ball, and with the balls up table, he could have maintained that for his last 2 balls, the 7 to the 2, and just gone naturally 2 rails to the 6. Now, if he takes out the 15 and the 14, he'll go 15, 14, 3, 5, 6, is I think the proper pattern from here. So you got the 15, 14, 3, 5, 6. He's doing this a little backwards. I think. Maybe he got a little funny. Oh, he prefers the 5 ball. That's surprising. You can see there's a couple options here he had, and he chose a little different route than me. I think he's going to end up good on this key ball, get on this break shot. He wants to favor the middle of the table here. He doesn't want to be on the left side of the table, so he's going to have to go to the rail and back. He's going to have to play good speed unless he's straight and can stop it. All right, so he chose to bank it. Position, got perfect shape. Current score, as you guys can see, is 145 to 75. Favorite Tony Robles. Dell's at the table. So as long as Dell's at the table, he can come back here. He's going to have to play a little tighter position so he doesn't have to work so hard. If he can get in line and start to run some balls comfortably with nice patterns, he'll be very competitive in this match. But if he continues to have to recover, eventually the percentages will probably catch up to him and he'll get in trouble. So let's see if he can run this a little easier and make his life simple. Okay, nice break shot. He's got good position on the 4 ball, possibly the 11. I like the 4. If he can play for the 2 or the 10, that'd be ideal. It tickled things a little bit, but he could actually play the 2 and develop the 7, but right now he's got the 3 ball, which is fine. Both the 13 and 7 will go after he eliminates the 2, I believe, so he doesn't really need to attack those. So I would probably play 10, play position, or the 2 play position from the 10 to 13, 7. Get rid of that problem and slowly attack the rest of the rack. Now, if he could play the 13 and then the 6, that'd be ideal. Now, if the 14 blocks part of the pocket, then that whole pattern changes. He still has the 7 ball, but it'd be ideal to get the 13 out of the way. Okay, good shot. Shot by Dell. Now, if he can play the 9 inside, he can play position on the 6 on the opposite side. And, sort of kill everything from the inside out. Basically, there's 2 styles of play. You can either peel it from the outside in or get internal and shoot everything out. Kind of discover what kind of pattern play Dell chooses. I believe he's an outside in sort of guy. If he's good on the 9, the play is the 9 right now on the side, but if he's not, he should probably play the 14 and reevaluate how to attack the rack. He's got tons of quality break shots. He's got the 12 with the 5 or the 1 as key balls. He's also got the 3 ball with no real key balls at the moment. I think he's supposed to go 8-3 here. Maybe 11-3. Okay, this rack, Dell's attacking nice and cleanly. He's not going into many balls unless he needs to. He's going to go 8-3. Looks like 8-3-7-6-1 or 8-3-6-7-1. Yeah, he's chosen 7-6-1. He's got the 6 in the side. He'll pot that now. Okay, he landed perfect on that. This natural 2-railer towards the 1, and he'll favor underneath the 1. I believe Steve just finished. Did Steve win over there? Yeah, Steve took it down.
I mean, not yet, but at the beginning,
Yeah, Greg's been playing well lately, so he was playing Greg Haas.
so on the first break shot, like on the actual very beginning of the game, he played a perfect break. And I played some probably, actually, I think it was a pretty good shot. And he made an amazing shot and then ran that rack and began to run the next one. And I'm like, what is going on over here?
Yeah, Greg stepped up his game,
yeah.
so it's good to see because he was stagnant for a little while, and it's nice to see people improving.
They don't see this one. They don't see this. You want to be on the stream?
No.
No?
Yeah, no,
Let's say, what is this thing right there?
No,
it's
that's
beauty.
just-
That's beauty right there. Steve doesn't have a face for radio, unlike Pascal and I. Handsome
radio?
guy. I said
face
he
for
doesn't.
television. Oh,
He doesn't have a face for radio.
145, 89. Saw at the beginning of the game this little frustrating for Dell.
Yeah, he's struggling a bit.
Yeah.
And Tony gave him some opportunities, and Dell didn't capitalize on him, and that's what I think frustrated him. Had a couple bad safety returns, but he's in the match now. He's at the table. That's always dangerous. Perfect break shot.
There's only been 5 misses on each side. So
Yep.
It's not horrible.
No. Pretty good game overall. Just Dell's gotten out of line quite a bit, but this last rack was pretty well, pretty well executed.
Well,
Less effort.
I've always found it much easier to play when I know that I can't miss.
This is true. This is true.
You're right back. I'm going to blank you.
Alrighty. The great Steve Lipsky coming in and giving a little insight to the match next to us. Greg Haas versus Steve. Congratulations to Greg for playing much better. I'm glad that he's improving. We're currently watching Del Sim at the table. Dell's starting to get in stroke here, so danger, Will Robinson, danger. Let's see if he can run some balls here. Good if you want. I think Tony had to go put some money in the meter. He slipped away for a moment. We are in New York City, so parking's a little hazardous here, but it might be after the meter time.
How many people think that's up?
0. We all know your skill level.
I always like to block from behind. I don't know what it is.
Next time.
Terrible fun. I'd like to review the
Like, in fact, the other thing I know about it, I could actually, like, purposely postpone the match.
It would be awesome to be in the box with Steve Lipsky,
Now, which I don't know that we've ever done.
but I don't think we have.
It's amazing.
It's actually a little sad.
We would be like
I think I'd learn a lot.
on the same.
All right, he needs a 13. He's got the 1, okay. Probably follow up for the 15 here. He's got a An unfortunate, probably secondary break shot would be the 2 ball. So he's got to play position off the 1 to the 15, maybe knock the 11 off the rail, use the 8 ball to get back to the other side. I think the 7's in a way of tickling the 11, so he'll just play position on the 8. He's going to draw into the stack. You know, that wasn't a haphazard shot. He hit that very well, played quality speed to control the cue ball, and he still has the 2 balls as another secondary break shot. I think that's going to solve all of his problems once he gets over there, but he just has to get to the right side of the table as we're looking at it. Use either the 2 ball or the 10 ball to open it up. It'd be ideal to have insurance, and I don't see any at the moment, so he might have to create an insurance ball if he can. He's going to play the 4, and he's going to get on the 2. I would have removed the 8 first, because if I do go up table off the 2, I can play position to the 11. Now he sort of has to play position for something else. The 13 doesn't go, so he's got to plow through this and get a little roll. Okay, well played. Played the percentages there and came out ahead as he should. If he can pocket the 8 and go into the 6, I would do that now. If he can't, then he's going to use the 10 to get on the 6. The 8 and 11 are still a problem. 13 ball is a problem. I think he's attacking the 13 now. Okay, good shot. He wants angle. If he doesn't need to separate these, he won't, because he doesn't have insurance on this, so he's got to be careful if he goes into these, make sure he's got a shot in the 6 after. If he does, he's going to want to make sure that he gets separation from the 6 ball and the cue ball. If he can get on the 8 ball off the 10, following up a little bit, and cut the 8 in, he should be able to clip the 6, you know, nice and thick, and have a shot. Actually, that's a little risky too. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Hopefully he's got the 8 ball. If he's got the 8, he can swing around 3 rails with inside English off the 8. Play position on the 11. All right, good shot. We got in a 3, which is... He can actually pinch this and miss the 7 with pure draw. He can definitely miss the 7 here if he hits this smoothly. And go into the 11 and probably develop the 11 to a better key ball shot. He could also hit the 7 and put it back in position if he wants. He's going to end up all right here. He can play the 14, the 11. He can use the 7 in the side break shot, or play position for the 7 in the corner. Either one works. He gave himself proper position to play for the 7 in the corner. He's going to want the cue ball basically parallel to the rail with the 7, so dead in line with the 7. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Not sure if he's got enough angle to clip the bottom corner ball or not. But he mishit that ball. Again, he had 2 options there. It might have been a little safer to play for the corner pocket. by getting more straight in on the 7 and then following up a little bit and getting off the rail to play the 7 in the side. But
41.
played for the corner. He's on a 41 ball run. He had a 44 ball run and a 41 ball run. Just like that, he's really back in the match. Current score is 103 with Dell to 145 Tony. What he doesn't want to do is make a mistake here by missing a ball. So if he has to play the ball and play it safe, that's what he should do. And he's going to have a tough battle beating Tony to the shot, but Tony's very smart when it comes to the strategic aspect of straight ball, but he can definitely pull through here. Hillary just walked in. It's Dell's lady. She's a very special woman. Dell's very happy to be with her. Dell got the scratch on the break shot, which was very unfortunate for where he is. So it looks like Tony steps to the table, only needing 5. Ball in hand, the head string. If he can put down the first shot, he should probably be out. The only plus about this is Dell didn't open up a lot of balls, so Tony's going to have to go back into the sack at some point. If he can play the 5 and get position on the 2, he's got a nice little glove there with the 13-4, 14-6 that the cue ball won't move around too much. Should be able to open up things. But that's asking a lot to get the 15 ball and land underneath the 2. Tough little situation. I think he's supposed to play position on the 2 here, right?
So I was actually just saying to those guys, this is not a total error.
This is very tough.
There's a lot that could go wrong.
He's got ball in hand. He's got ball in hand, so he's looking like he can. For the 3?
I think I played inside.
You would play for the 2. But try to get above it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think it misses.
Okay, so he's going to play position for the 3 now, and if the 3 goes by the 9, this should be over. This is a center inside. Try to get back to the middle of the table. Yeah. It's a little awkward to see here, but he's got perfect position on it. He's got a nice little glove there. He shouldn't lose the cue. It'd be crazy if he scratched, so he should have 20 shots after this. Kind of got a bad roll, but got the 14, so he's all right here. It's like 14-6-9 or 14-6-5 after this should be out. He's playing for 1, so he's just going to pocket the 6, and that's it. I think Dell should tackle him. So, good playing from both guys, really. Dell came back. He was down pretty strong. Ran a 44 and a 41. Looks like Tony ran a 45, a 38, and a 26. It just took a little while for Dell to get going. He was too much in the hole to come back, really. But fine match. Anything you want to point out?
Shot time, Dell 13 seconds.
Yeah, Tony's shot time was 22 seconds, and Dell was 13.
Fastest in the
Almost double Dell speed, and that's partially the pattern play. I think that's what kind of causes Dell to get in a nice groove and run a lot of balls, or not run balls, because he's just not taking the time at the table to analyze things. But a very strong player, very strong pocketer. If he gets in a groove, as you can see, he can run a lot of balls. And a pleasure to watch the match. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Signing off here at Amsterdam Billiards. Do a quick thank to Delsim, Hillary, his beautiful lady, OB Tony Robles, Predator Qs, G2 products for Dell, Tony Napa League, NAPL, and the Predator Tour. Guys signing out, Michael Yednak here. Thanks to Jacoby, Kamui, Predator. Good night, guys.